Hi, I'm Campbell Hendricks.
I'm Michael Miller, and we are here with the Middle School Maverick News Network. We have some exciting stories for you today.
First, Sam and I are interviewing Mr. V. Hill about his activities, including Minecraft.
Hello, I'm Sam Schneider with the Maverick News Network, and I'm here with Mr. V. Hill of the Computer Lab, and I'll be asking him a couple questions. So, Mr. V. Hill, how long have you been working with the computers industry?
Well, I began working with computers probably around 13 years ago, but I've been at St. John's 15 years now. The first couple of years I just taught at St. John's.
And what exactly is your job with the computers here?
Well, with the computers, I am to maintain and fix all computers, to introduce all new software, and to keep them working. But I also teach the computer applications class, the 7th grade class.
Okay, and I hear that you offer activities as well in the computer lab?
Yes, I do.
And what activities are those?
This last quarter, or I guess we're doing it by trimester. This last trimester, I offered Minecraft and Spore.
And those are two worldwide computer games, I guess, or big computer games?
They're computer games. They're both, well, one of them is like a sim game, or like a Sim City game, a simulation game. The other one is a construction game, they call it.
Construction, yes. And so you said you also taught the 7th grade class for computer?
Right.
And how long does that meet for?
Just meets once a week, 45 minutes, or actually 50 minutes, once a week.
All right. And going back to your activities, who would you recommend those activities for?
Well, anybody who likes to play. There's a lot of things. I'd really like to see more students get involved. I'd like to see more girls get involved, and people who don't think they're gamers get involved. Spore particularly is a game that's really fun. These simulation games are really fun. Spore, you start out as a one-celled animal, and you go all the way to where you walk on land, and then you get tribal, and then you get civilization. And then you go into outer space, so it gets really fun to continue to grow. But I recommend them for everybody.
And out of Minecraft and Spore, which two are the popular?
Well, Minecraft this was the very first trimester we started it, and I only allowed a few to come in so that we can try it. I'm going to open it up to 7th graders for the next trimester, so 7th and 8th graders, and I think they'll both be pretty popular. But right now, Spore is the most popular.
And Spore is for what grades?
6th and 7th.
6th and 7th. Okay. And I heard that Minecraft was a new activity this year, that a student had the idea. So how does that all play out?
Well, one of the students came up to me and said, "Can we do Minecraft as an activity?" And I said, "Well, I don't know that there'd be many people who would be interested in it." And I said, "I think Minecraft is a good game. I've not played it myself, or I hadn't at the time." So what the student did is he started up a petition, and he got like 25, 30 students to sign the petition. And it looked interesting to me. I looked into it. I found out that it was worth doing playing the game as an activity, and so then I just proposed it. That's what we're doing now.
All right, sounds great. And thank you very much for your time, Mr. V.
You're very welcome.
Wow, that was interesting. Next, Robert, Hayden, and I are interviewing students about what they thought about the Kincaid Pep Rally.
Is everyone ready for the 2012 Kincaid Pep Rally?
What do you think of the pep rally?
You know, it was very fun. It was just great, full of lots of spirit.
You see, I think the pep rally was very nice. There was a lot of pep, and it was quite a rally.
I liked when the cheerleaders did the cheer. This was the best pep rally ever.
It was really fun to see the whole school out cheering for the Mavericks.
I loved the pep rally. It was really so much fun. I'm kind of impressed.
Yeah, the cheerleaders, they led the cheer very well.
I like the cheerleading.
We're gonna give Kincaid
Good old-fashioned butt kicking.
Very insightful. Next, we have Lauren and James with their cooking show.
Hi, it's Lauren and James again, and today we're making cake pops.
Now, the first thing that you're gonna have to do with this is, and we've already done this, is you're gonna need to bake a cake, and you're gonna have to crumple it.
You want to
break
take
it until
small
it's
crumbs.
little crumbs that look about like that. Yeah.
So the next step, once you've crumbled your cake, you're going to mix in some frosting. We're using just white frosting. And both of the cake and the frosting are flavors of your choosing.
And what the flavor that we are using for the cake right now is French vanilla, and the icing is just white. Yeah, just classic white. And you're gonna want to scoop it in, your icing into the bowl, and at first you're gonna want to use your spatula to mix it in with the different crumbs.
Or you can just use your hands.
Well, and
After you scoop it in, you can just mix it with your hands. After you've washed your hands, which we've both done. So after you've mixed in your frosting, you should be able to make them into balls like this, where they're still kind of squishy, but they're not falling apart. So once you have mixed the frosting in with your cake, you're going to form them into little balls like this and put them on a cookie sheet. And then once you've done that, you're going to do what James is doing right now and take one of your lollipop sticks, dip it in the melted chocolate, and then you put it in one of the cake pops, so then you get a little bit of cake, you get a little bit of chocolate on the inside. After you have put chocolate dip sticks in all of your cake pops, you're going to put them in the freezer until they're hard, and then later we're going to put frosting on them and decorate.
And now you're going to want to dip them in chocolate, or your melted chocolate that you made before. And you're going to want to kind of spin them around to get a ton of chocolate on there. And then you're going to just want to pull them out carefully. And then you can either get styrofoam or make a box contraption to hold.
A styrofoam rectangle would probably work best for this.
Oh, cheers. Lauren, you want this one? I haven't touched it yet.
Yay!
Cheers. Is that one broken?
No.
Okay, don't eat it. Okay.
They're very good. And after you've done this, you can put sprinkles or different designs. So yeah, cake pops.
That's cool. Next, we have Vern Ledbetter and Wheeler Gibson talking to Mr. Hutchinson about his role in the St. John's community.
Thanks, guys. My name is Wheeler Gibson. I'm here with Middle School Maverick News Network. We're going to interview Mr. Hutchinson, a new teacher here, about how he got to St. John's and what he teaches. What do you teach at St. John's?
I teach the 6th grade theater rotation, so I teach every 6th grader for at least one quarter. And then I teach upper school theater 1 and 2.
Why does theater interest you?
At a very young age, I became interested in theater. And that's a hard question to answer just because it's everything about theater is interesting. The more you study it, the more you realize there is to learn. And basically, like all sort of art forms, theater is sort of all-encompassing. So when you work on plays or you think about plays, you have to take into account everything about the history of the time period and the play and the playwright and the politics and what normal people did and lived their lives. And there's just, every time you work on a play, it opens up an entirely new world. And I think also when you do theater, it's sort of a little bit of a family feeling, everybody working towards a common goal. And I like it because you start and finish things in theater. You start a play, 8 weeks later it's over and you move on to the next thing. I like that.
What is your favorite play?
That's really hard. I think that my favorite play is, I would answer that question, and there's there's different plays I like for different reasons. The actor in me likes certain plays. The director in me likes certain other plays. The sort of aficionado of literature likes other plays for other reasons. But I think my favorite play right now is a play called The Pillow Man by Martin McDonagh. It's about, I don't know, maybe 9 years old now, and I actually teach it in my upper school classes, and it's just an amazing play.
How long have you wanted to be a teacher?
Well, I guess I did my first teaching when I was just out of college, and it was I was an actor who needed a day job, as they say. So I started teaching English as a second language, and I found teaching very rewarding. I didn't know I would. I'd never been a teacher before, but I found it very stimulating and very rewarding and fun, and there's a theatrical element to it. Standing up there trying to entertain people who might not be interested in what you're doing. You guys might know what I'm talking about. But I think from that moment on, I realized that I could teach if I chose to. So I taught, since I finished graduate school in 1999, I've taught at colleges and directed plays and things, so I've sort of constantly been, in addition to working professionally as an actor, was teaching on the side, and then there came a point where I wanted to explore teaching full-time. So I'd say for about 20 years I've had a hand in teaching one way or the other, and I've liked it, so I'm glad I get to keep doing it.
What did you do before you were a teacher?
Well, I was a professional actor. So, and that's pretty much what I've done since I finished my undergraduate work a long time ago, more than 20 years ago. So, some years I was working more consistently as an actor than others, but since about 1999 I was consistently an actor working on stage and sometimes in film and television. And so that's what I was doing before.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Hutchinson. That was very interesting. Back to you at the studio.
How fascinating. Now we have Peter Stone and Marcelo Semino talking to Miss Gann about her activity, Adventures in Archaeology.
Hi, I'm Marcelo Semino.
And I'm Peter Stone.
And we're going to be interviewing Miss Gann. So what do you do in Adventures in Archaeology?
Well, basically we watch Indiana Jones films. It's kind of hard to do an archaeological dig in the classroom.
Okay, and what inspired you to make the activity?
Well, for about 14 summers I've been going on archaeological digs. And most recently in the Republic of Macedonia, where we were digging a Paeonian city from the classical Hellenistic period of time. So I actually have done archaeology. I actually know something about it. And I also know that you don't pack a whip and a gun with you and you go. At least I don't.
And is there anything else you'd like to say about the activity?
In terms of dig stories, I would also recommend carrying duct tape with you everywhere you go, because well, I always bring old shoes and sometimes they fall apart and I have to duct tape them together. It's kind of a dig fashion statement. But it's fun and it's exciting to find something that has been under the ground for 2,000 years and you pull it out. If you find a whole vessel or mostly a whole vessel or a piece of jewelry, it's kind of a cool thing.
So Harrison, what do you do in Adventures in Archaeology?
Well, you see, we have a great time. We watch some Indiana Jones, talk about archaeology and Miss Gann's digs. It's really fun.
What do you do when you're not watching movies?
Well, when we're not watching movies, Miss Gann tells us stories about her past excavations in archaeology.
We just interviewed Miss Gann.
And now back to you guys at the studio.
Finally, we have Daniel Perrier and Harrison Ray covering the 8th grade science egg drop projects.
I'm here with Miss Lee, and we're going to find out all about the egg drop project. What is the reason behind the egg drop project? In other words, how does this relate to real life?
So before we did the egg drop project, all the classes watched this video about how the physics that we are studying plays into car crashes and collisions. And to demonstrate what we know, what we've been learning, we decided to, Ms. Bartholomew and I decided to do a project in which you build something and you apply the concepts that you know, and you actually see if it works in real life.
What is the egg drop project?
So the egg drop project, you build a device to protect an egg from cracking open when it's dropped from a certain height. And we drop them from multiple heights, the tallest of which are going to be from the top of the bleachers.
What are the requirements?
So there is a limited supply of materials that you can choose from. They are 8 sheets of printer paper, tape, 5 paper clips, and 5 rubber bands. And for additional materials, you need to get them approved, but there's a point deduction for every single material.
How do you test the projects?
So we're going to go outside next to the bleachers, and we're going to drop the projects from multiple heights with the egg inside, from 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, and then from the top of the bleachers. And for every height at which the egg survives, without any cracks or any yolk running out, you get points.
What makes a good design?
So the key behind the egg drop project is that you want to slow down the egg as it falls. In free fall, it's going to get faster and faster as it's dropped from higher and higher heights. So most people approach that problem with a parachute, which will catch the air, and the air resistance will help slow down the egg. There are other people who like to do a bungee kind of contraption so that when the egg falls and lands, the egg, which is suspended by rubber bands, will actually just bounce up and down. That's an interesting design as well.
Let's take a look at some of the designs.
Okay, so these are 2 of the designs that students this year have built. This one is unique in that the egg goes inside and there's a frame around it made from paper and tape. And what happens is as the device is dropped, no matter what angle this lands at, the egg will be in the very center and will not hit the ground. So that's pretty cool. This is an example of one in which I mentioned earlier, the bungee design. So they have the egg will go in this little box right here, and when the box lands, the egg will bounce back and forth. The rubber bands are going to suspend it in the air, and I believe there is a parachute attachment to this design as well.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Middle School Maverick News Network. See you next time.